All right, it is 7 PM on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. We are gonna open the administrative board meeting. Roll call, please.
I have trustees Chris Samples,
Here.
John Talbot.
Here.
Jen Christensen.
Here.
Bill Motisi is absent, Nathan Mons is absent, Patrick Yarlam is absent, President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onamini.
Here.
I clerk Sandy Mons am here, Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie,
Here.
Parks Lead Brody Cook,
Here.
Engineer Matt Hanson.
Here. On the consent agenda this evening, we have 3 items. Item 1, September 24th, 2024 Administrative Board Meeting Minutes. Item 2, bills payable warrant list dated October 22nd, 2024. Item 3, October 22nd, 2024, for a total of $97,425.50. Item 3, outside meeting pay for elected officials, total of $500. This time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of those 3 items for further consideration? Now, I'll entertain the first motion.
I move to place agenda items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as a consent agenda.
Jen makes a motion to place items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as consent agenda. John seconds. Roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill's absent, John,
Yes.
Nathan's absent, Patrick's absent, Chris,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes. Passes at 7:01. Just for the record, I'm only voting tonight because we only have 3 trustees and we need some things to be 2/3 of the elected officials. Seconded by, or second motion.
I move to adopt items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Jen makes a motion to adopt items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as a consent agenda. Chris seconds. Roll call, please.
Bill is absent, John,
Yes.
Nathan's absent, Patrick's absent, Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes. Motion passes 7:02. Don't need item D, move on to report of the officers. I still do not have anybody willing to stand up for planning and zoning commission. So out to the public, if you know anybody who wants to be as planning and zoning commissioner, reach out to me. And if you want to be the chairperson, even better. Sandy?
I have a few things. The first thing on there is a resolution that we need to approve, but I cannot make motions.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2444, a resolution amending the Village of Davis Junction Personnel Policy Manual, changes to section 7.04 personal business. Section 7.12 attendance, punctuality, dependability, and section 16 job descriptions.
What job description did we change?
Can we get a second first?
Second.
All right, Jen makes a motion to approve resolution number 24-44. Chris seconds. Now discussion.
So in your board packet, I actually started providing you guys something new this time, and you'll see that there's actually this cover sheet now called an agenda item staff report. And there you'll see down there that these are the reasons for the changes. In section 7.04, there is a duplicate language that came into effect when we adopted our technology resource use policy. Section 7.12 contains the word telephone, which we now use phone and text. And then section 16, we had to fix one of the pay scales and increase one of the others. The one pay scale should have been fixed when we did the pay scales last time for the position, so.
By adding the 3.
No, so the other one, was the Parks 2 and Parks 3 positions. Those align with the Public Works 2 and Public Works 3 and the water, wastewater 2 and wastewater 3. They all have the same pay scale, but for some reason, those pay scales were off. So those we had to adjust because they should have been, they're equal across the board through all departments. But Parks Lead is adding the 3 so that there's room for growth.
Okay.
Yep.
Any further discussion? We're gonna do all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You're not.
And you, there you go.
Any opposed? Say nay. Passes at 7:05.
I'm sorry, did you have to say aye for that too?
I
You
did,
did.
I'm voting on everything tonight. Yay.
And then the next thing on there is an ordinance, again, I cannot make motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 24-11, an ordinance amending the duties of the village treasurer.
Sorry,
Jen makes a motion to approve resolution number 24-11, Chris seconds. Any discussion?
This one's just updating the ordinance to match what our current policy or current procedures are. We do not, haven't done vouchers for many years, so it's just removing that language from Brenda's job description.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. I say aye.
Okay.
7:06. I gotta remember to vote. Anything further?
Yes, so for the next meeting, which actually isn't until November 12th. The deadline for anything to get to me is actually going to be November 7th. I am on vacation, so I will be working remotely to make that happen, so. It'll be a day earlier than normal, will be the deadline. That's all I have.
All right, Brenda,
Um,
shall we do a motion second? A motion and a second.
I will make a motion to approve resolution number 2445, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of commercial insurance policy and quote from Illinois County's Risk Management Trust presented by Broadmoor Agency Incorporated.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to approve resolution number 24-45. John seconds. Discussion on it.
Well, here's the quote for it, and, we had budgeted $90,000, but it came in at $101,000. Mostly because, well, we added the cybersecurity. That was different from last
Mhm.
year, it was only 85 last year, but we added cybersecurity. So that would equal for a whole year over $6,000. And let's see. Basically, the plan went up 7.5%. Let's have, I will be getting more quotes next year. This year was too late for one other company. So I guess that's it.
Discussion?
how many votes do you have?
I need all of them.
All right. Next year though.
It's money. So
It is, if you read on the
I saw
cover
that.
sheet, I'll put it in there.
Earlier, I did, yeah, something
Yeah.
to the
But
attorney,
is
they had
it-
a clause in there.
Is it like insurance rates? Isn't that,
It is.
And
It's
they're all up.
they're all going up?
well, and we had
Well, I was
in
gonna
the
say-
insurance- in the information sheet, we put in there, we've had several claims. this
I was
year
gonna
for
say, is they
related
holding that against
expenses.
us? Cause I saw that difference.
What?
Oh, it is.
Well, I just know when I was going through and I was looking at it, I was like, holy cow. You know, and I'm like, gee, I wonder if there's, like a percentage of it being higher because of our claims.
Yeah.
But
I'm
they've been good.
I'm actually surprised because insurance rates have gone up, what, 30% this year? And that's not that
Depends
much.
on where you.
But they've been good to us, and we've formed a relationship
Right,
with
yeah.
them through the
On the
years.
flip
so.
side, the workers' comp is really down. That's down a lot.
That's very good.
Yeah.
We like workers' comp being down.
But I mean, they were building a relationship with them. We've been with them for several years.
Yeah,
Like you say, we did get a little money out of it.
All right, so John, you would pay 30% more because you.
This is 7.5%.
That's not what I asked. You would pay 30% more if you had a relationship with a.
We're voting on 7.5%.
Doesn't matter.
My
I'm going
insurance,
to quote
my
my
insurance
insurance every
went
3
down,
years.
so
I always
They're going
go
down.
out and look. It's. Well, never mind.
All right.
Let's vote.
So back to the motion. Any further discussion on the motion? We'll roll call, it's money.
John,
yes.
Nathan's absent, Patrick's absent, Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes,
Bill is absent, Rick.
So, yes, 7:09.
Thank you, Chris.
Anything further, Brenda?
No.
All right, Matt, you got it.
All right, project status report, the Junction Way project, Dale's got all the documents over to IDOT for final approval this week, so that's moving forward. Take a look, next couple pages, nothing. The downtown Main Streets, we've got the ultimate and interim intersection design studies, for the two intersections submitted to IDOT. They've reviewed them, came back with a few comments, and Dale, they're working on making the revisions to the final plan sheets and preliminary plat. So once we're ready there, then we'll get the plat over to probably get it to Sandy and get a planning zoning committee scheduled for that for
I
approval.
Received it Friday
Did
or
you?
Monday.
Oh, they
Yeah.
did get it? Okay,
And so I did receive the plat and I forwarded on to Dan Boland to get that rolling. for
okay,
us.
good, good. The parks outlet grant, Dale's getting the final cost estimates prepared for all the remaining items that were in the grant. So once he has those, I assume he's gonna be doubling back with you and then getting the plans revised and stuff so we can get that out for bid. The Rolling Meadows, mobile home, park water meter, I think I may have mentioned this last meeting. The cost for just the materials is 25,000. Are you wanting to get a cost from a contractor at this point, or what direction you're looking at as far as, you know?
I think the board needs to have a discussion on that, but we should probably wait till Patrick's here.
Okay.
Probably, if you don't mind, just keeping that on there
Yep.
for another month as is, and we'll discuss it with Patrick. Or when we have most of the board, instead of missing most of the board, because they're gonna have to decide if they want to potentially go that route.
Okay. Nope, sounds good. And then the last item on the list, the filter rehab work. Everything has been completed since the last meeting, so contractor got in, got the media nozzles out. We did our inspection. They came back in and got the new media nozzles in, and we got that back into service. So Brett and his guys did a real good job getting I said last month, getting the temporary filter up in operation. They were getting actually getting good output from the filter, you know, and stuff, even though we're feeding through a hydrant and as far as I know, at least the initial test results, the iron concentrations were low coming out of the temp filter. So that did work out good. We did complete, I think Sandy put it in there. We did a short kind of letter report on our findings and what we're looking at for possible, you want to call them solutions to the leakage issue. But the overall, the filter is still in good condition. We took a good hard look at the filter cells, and the filter cells are where the media is actually at. We're actually doing the iron removal, and then the under drain portion of the filter. The under drain obviously is Brett will attest, you know, and stuff. The openings to get in there are pretty small, so you have limited access as far as reach, you know, and stuff to take a look at things. We did have kind of a, extension that we could extend in and get some pictures and video, you know, and stuff further into the under drain and stuff to take a look at. I don't know if you have the
I do,
pictures,
Yeah.
just to kind of give people an idea.
that one.
Yeah, so this is one of the filter areas. So what you're seeing here, these are what we call the nozzles that got replaced. And those nozzles have really small openings, so it will not allow, when they're working properly, will not allow the media to get into the under drain, which is below this. So the media sits in this area here. The water works its way down through the media, iron's removed, and then goes through these nozzles and then into the under drain. So this is the under drain portion. Those nozzles that you saw on top that were very short, these are the nozzles that stick down through into the under drain. This is the air line for the air water backwash. And then these supports here are just angle supports to hold the bottom plate of the filter in place, as well as you can kind of see these steel walls here with these little triangle shaped openings and stuff there. Those are supports also for the media bottom plate, but there are also these openings when you go into, when you backwash the filter, the actual cells where the media sits. If you take a look at the circular filter, it's like a pie shape, and each one of those pies are its own separate filter. So we push water into each one of those cells. The water goes down through the media, iron's removed, and then the under drain has the, filtered effluent, and then we pump it out into the power and distribution system. So when the media gets filled up with iron, we go into backwash, and we drain one of the filter cells down, and we use the other 3 cells that are in service for backwashing. And in order to do that, you have these openings here in the under drain to allow the water that's coming through the 3 filters that are in service to come up, and we push water back up through these nozzles if that filter was in backwash. And then same thing when we do the air cycle with it, that air's pushing up through those nozzles and stuff to allow the to break apart the iron from the media and then backwash it and clean it. So we didn't see, even though you kind of see iron built up on the angles, they were able to kind of take a look at those. Those are still in good structural condition. The exterior walls and those interior walls still in good condition. They saw some minor, things with the, that's a weld seam joint, and stuff in the plate and everything. Nothing of a big concern there, but there's a couple spots where they thought there might be a source of maybe a leak where that wall comes down and hits the bottom plate because it's welded and stuff there. So, overall structurally, the filter, we think we're going to get, the media, you're going to replace it every 10 to 15 years, most likely. We're going to at least get another media replacement cycle out of it. I think probably the biggest question for the board, kind of long-term planning is, when we go to take a look at the next media replacement, if that's a time where, do we need to start taking a closer look at whether we want to actually replace the filter or not?
In 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. And then the other thing is like I said, we made the temp filter work out well. It was obviously a lot of work on Brett's part, and his crew, but they got it in place, they got it assembled, tested, and I think for the most part it worked fine. Why we had the other filter down. The other thing is, for long range planning for the board is, do you want to take a look at some point at basically putting a filter at each well, something similar to this at each well. That way you're not worrying about, doing the temporary. You always have a filter in a well, in operation at all times. So it's just a matter of having that redundancy for these times when you do have to have the filter down, because it's not real frequently you have to have it down, but you do need to take it down periodically, and stuff to do some maintenance work on it. So.
But from a cost standpoint, it would be cheaper to do it the way we just did it.
Yeah, from a cost standpoint, because if you're going to put in a new filter, I mean, heck, just the filter equipment itself, I'm guessing is probably in the
I mean,
$900,000 just for the equipment, and stuff, and then you gotta put it in and yeah, yeah, 2. Yeah.
The smaller ones would be 800,000 or replacing that one?
Oh, probably that one, and stuff. We're looking at right now we're looking at a community that they're looking at doing a gravity filter, a little different design than this, because obviously this is 2020 design. Now they've got other designs that are more modern, and stuff. They're always tweaking them, and stuff. But this is yours is a 500 gallon per minute size. This one's going to be 200, and their equipment cost was around 700,000 for the equipment for it. So.
Yeah. Well, I only can speak for myself, but it's more cost effective
Yeah.
than 15 years or whatever you do the way we
Yeah.
One.
Well,
So we're looking at,
but it's still,
we,
it's the whole, what's the expense that's costing us right now to bypass that filter? Well,
no, and I'm sure Matt's gonna get into it here, but 10 to 15 years is depending on whether the repairs that we look at doing.
Yeah.
Work,
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah.
yeah.
so we don't, yeah.
I'll be
We
saying-
don't think, the leak's probably, you gotta understand, the leak is, wherever the leak is on the tank, and stuff is probably small. And the reason why you're seeing it is you do have a lot of head on that. When the filter is in operation, the water level in that filter is above the roof line of the building. So there's a lot of water pressure, pushing down on whatever leak is down at the very bottom of the tank that's kind of bleeding through. We are looking at 3 options. One we're just waiting on a cost for, but basically, injecting a hydrophilic polyurethane. That's a tongue twister. Material into the concrete curb that we put in. And what that does is, once it hits that water, and stuff, it expands almost to a impermeable foam, in there to kind of fill up whatever leak where it might be coming from, and stuff. And we're hoping that might be one way to seal it off. Another one that we're looking at, we're still waiting to see whether they think it would work or not. We use some types of epoxies to help seal off leaks. We're trying to find out whether we could do an epoxy over the concrete curb that was installed and up, along the, a little bit into the tank, and stuff to prevent that water leakage to come, out and onto the floor. And then the last one that, we're not stopping the leak, we're just kind of controlling it, is, breaking out the concrete around the foundation of the filter there, and basically putting in kind of a trench drain and direct the water to that drain, and then connect it into the drains that are in that filter room, and stuff. So the water's not spreading out onto the floor. We're basically controlling the leak, so it's not necessarily a safety hazard for the water department staff working in there, so. Questions on the filter? Like I said, from the steel structure standpoint, it's not falling down. We do, like I said, we do have a leak there. It'd be nice to be able to eliminate it, but where we think it's at, even if we could find it, you just can't get it. Even the filters today, and stuff, for whatever reason, they haven't designed them so you can actually physically get into those under drain areas to really repair anything. It's the one part of these filters that you just can't get into. So.
And I'm assuming if unfortunately, we get to, option 3, where we're cutting the floor, we're probably going to have to revisit this time schedule of 10 to 15 years, in my opinion, because if we're cutting, drains in the floor because we can't get the leak stopped with the other 2, my guess is we're going to want to revisit this, because I don't think at that point in time, we're going to talk about 10 to 15 years.
10 or 15 more years.
Well, it really depends on the leak is not going to cause the thing the filter necessarily to fall down, and stuff. There's going to be, it's going to continue to kind of corrode, and stuff in that area. I'm guessing you can still probably get the 10 years out of it. Even we can't stop the leak, but 10 years comes pretty quickly, and stuff. So you really want to be kind of planning ahead, and the fixes that we're talking about are, they're just not cheap fixes, and stuff, when you're wanting to go to replace, and stuff. And the thing about replacing this is, that's why I mentioned, when we have it down and we do the temp system, and stuff, that's nice for a short duration, and stuff. But when we go to replace this filter, it's not going to be one of those things where it's going to be like a 2-week operation, and stuff. They're probably going to have to, remove the section of the roof so we can get the existing filter out. Then you've got to bring the new filter in, set it into place, and stuff. get it all repiped, get the media in it, get it retested, and stuff, that duration is gonna probably be a little bit longer where you're gonna be, if you're gonna run on a temp system, it's gonna be for several months as opposed to several weeks. So
That's probably the benefit to have.
that is the benefit to having two, and stuff. I always say, when looking at it, redundancy, when you have the redundancy, what you're trying to do is reduce your risk, and stuff. And when you have that kind of redundancy, if something happens to the filter, you always have a second one and stuff in place. So that's where, even though we might be looking a little more long-term on this filter, if you're wanting to have that redundancy, the other filter for the other well would be more near term, and stuff, because you'd want to get that one done first and then turn around and follow it with the second filter. Because if you can get the other well on a new filter, then when you go to take this one out, you don't need the temp system. It's already in place. So probably what we want to do is take a look at options 1 and 2 first and see if we can get the leak to stop, and stuff. And then, we can evaluate whether we need to take a look at option 3. So, I think long-term, and stuff, we probably need to, I think first question is whether, for the board is whether you want to go to 2 filters. And if you do want to go to 2 filters, then we take a look at a schedule, and stuff. And that schedule should probably be in that 5 to 10 year range, getting the one for well 2 done, and then following up right behind it with the well 1 filter replacement. So it gives you a little bit of time to do some planning and stuff there.
Anything further? Anything further from Matt?
Yeah, it's never,
Actually, I thought the report
It was.
didn't look like it was that bad.
like I said, I know I understand, Brett's concern, when you have something that's leaking, and stuff, you're waiting for the big hole to hit, and stuff and everything, but, we just gotta continue to monitor it, and stuff. We'll try these 2, see how it handles, see if it'll eliminate the leak. If it doesn't, and stuff, then we'll take a look at the third option. And then, like I said, maybe start looking at our planning for the future.
All right, let's move on to the public hearing.
You'll need a motion to convene the public. hearing.
Also convene the public hearing.
One of you two.
Oh, second.
John makes a motion to convene the public hearing.
Second.
Chris seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
And these streets-
Public hearing is in session at 7:28. Underneath with.
I was gonna say, does Chris or Brenda want to talk
Yeah.
about that?
Oh, did you guys hear that on the news?
A very short piece about how it's.
It's already got to the public. Already.
So we're doing a tax levy of $142,935, which is a 35% increase from last year.
There's your answer to your question, Charles. Slowly bringing them up.
And then basically that just increases $25.38 per $100,000 revaluation.
Per year.
For $100,000.
Yeah, per year. For this year. Next year. it'll be-
Well, we're not really
Next
bringing
year it'll be
it,
different.
we're not really bringing it up at that rate, but.
It's,
Well, we did 35%.
No, I'm just saying 20,
You're right, $142,000 is in property taxes for the village is a minute amount.
yes.
That's very true. We're trying to catch up somewhat.
and we're trying to avoid shock and awe.
Yes.
I hope $25.38 is not gonna shock you.
Well, per 100,000.
We, yes.
So less than
So
50
if-
bucks from
Or
us.
if you wanted $200,000, $200,000,
Mhm.
but we will be the smallest increase.
Oh, like
On our bill.
$4 a month, at $4 or $5, what it averages
Yeah,
out.
I'm just saying,
It's not
comparatively
much.
speaking,
No.
we're gonna be the smallest.
We always have
It
this.
still hits people at a
Yeah,
economic hard time.
But unfortunately, you know, you gotta pay for your $700,000 filter and your.
That Matt wants to buy 2 of.
What?
Yes.
Well, you know, they met.
That's up to you guys what you wanna do. Give them your options.
Dollars per
Oh, I-
valuation per month.
That's affordable.
Yeah.
It's just where taxes. are-
It sounds atrocious
break it
because
down
of
to
the
a day?
percentage. No, but that's, most people, that's how they pay their taxes, is monthly. Through an
All right.
escrow.
Well, it's in your mortgage.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an escrow.
Or you just
Anybody here want to comment as public comment?
I did not receive anything for that either.
Okay, we can close.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second,
John makes a motion to close the public hearing. Jen seconds. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, say nay. Hit the wrong button. Out of it 7:31. We need to reconvene or we just go on?
Moving on.
All right. Move on to reports of committees, move on to finance first.
I don't know, we had an emergency expenditure that was unavailable.
Oh, not yet.
No,
Oh.
nobody gave me an emergency expenditure.
Okay.
Well, no, I had gotten a quote from the dealership, so I was just following procedure to make sure that
Oh,
I could get the truck repaired, so, because it's over my spending limit. And I just got a phone call, so, we may be doing another one here for a VFD at the wastewater plant, but I'll let you know tomorrow.
I'll keep your phone.
okay.
All right, so no emergency expenditures.
Do we have anything else?
No.
That, what's the next one?
You need a motion for the,
Yes, he does.
Thanks, Audrey.
I'll make a motion.
Oh,
for- I'll make a motion for ordinance number 24-12, tax levy ordinance
And that's to approve it.
to approve it.
You seconded?
Yeah.
John makes a motion to approve ordinance number 24-12. Chris seconds. Any discussion on the tax levy ordinance? Money, roll call.
Nathan's absent, Patrick's absent, Chris,
Yeah.
Jen,
yes,
Phil's absent, John,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes. 7:32.
Hmm.
All right, anything further from finance?
No.
Jen?
we have had, and when I say we, me, Fergie, Brody, Nathan, and Sandy have had a few meetings with our event, our birthday event coming up. Kind of trying to set our base for what we can do in our space and stuff like that, so we're kind of putting out our feelers. Costs for like our cost before we look for our sponsors and stuff like that. We've had 2 meetings. We have another one coming up next week. So hopefully we'll be able to find out some more information and give you guys the details of all of our findings. I'm working on the Halloween bags right now for the giveaway. Sandy, do you know, because I know Erica had gotten a hold of me today, if Nathan is gonna be doing it from his address or
I do not know
okay.
when he's out of town until
I
the
know.
29th.
That's why I'm like, unless we just pick it for him.
I'm sure you could do either.
I mean, it's the same street. I mean,
And
it's
honestly,
right
you could,
across from each other.
you
so-
could just say on
Prairie
Prairie
Moon.
Moon, and then he can,
Because I think last year we just said Prairie Moon Water Tower, didn't we?
yeah, because I was at the water tower.
Okay. Okay, otherwise the other 2 spots I think are gonna be the same. Yeah, so I'm working on the Halloween bags right now. I haven't really done a lot with the Halloween party because of the other 2 events, or the Christmas party, because I've been busy working on the other 2 events, so I don't have anything on that yet. other than we have the date and I have Santa. That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions. On anything.
We don't have Parks here, but Parks is on the thing for his have stuff under.
Brody can talk about those items.
So we have coming up the, scheduled replacement of one of our X-Mark mowers. It's a 2019 60-inch. And I reached out to 3 different places to get quotes. And I believe everyone's already got the totals, right, Sandy?
Yep.
So Johnson came in at the lowest. And that's included with our, striping kit and everything. That's about it.
You said 60-inch, but you're buying a 72?
Yeah, just a bigger deck.
Brody can't make motions.
Oh, sorry. I will make a motion to approve resolution 2446. Resolution approving and authorizing execution of a quote from Johnson Tractor for purchase of 2024 72-inch X-Mark lawnmower and striper kit for Parks Department totaling in what was it?
$10,316
$10,316
for trade-in.
after trade-in.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to approve resolution number 24-46 for the mower in the amount of $10,316 after trade-in. Chris seconds. Discussion on buying the mower.
What do we budget for the more?
Well, John, let me go to this cover sheet right here.
Yes.
Well, if I could pull up your
Well,
agenda on my
the
phone, I would
agenda
read it.
item Staff report right here. You
Yeah.
see that we had proposed, our proposed cost is 10,316 when the budgeted amount was 12,000.
I can't pull up your agenda on my phone.
Also new to this, you'll see in here, if you just want to know how to make the motion language is actually in there word for word, so you can read directly from this too.
I am actually gonna comment that I think this is very user-friendly.
That sheet,
Yes.
The
Yeah.
PDF don't pop up, that's not very
and
user-friendly.
it creates additional workload for me, but we can chat about those.
Well, I was going through and I'm like, what's all this? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is I'm like, this is cool.
It looks nice, then.
It's her.
Okay, anyway, that's not what we're
I'll
voting
have
on.
to bring it up on my
We
Android.
have a motion, we have a second, we have discussion. Is there any more discussion? Do roll call, please. Come on.
Patrick's absent, Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill's absent, John.
Yes.
Nathan's absent, Rick.
Yes. Passes 737.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2413, ordinance authorizing disposal of personal property owned by the Village of Davis Junction, 2019 60-inch, X-Mark Laser V0 turn mower.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to approve ordinance number 24-13. John seconds. Discussion.
I assume that was your trade-in, so.
Yeah, yep.
What, okay, I hate to ask what we got for trade-in, I suppose it's on,
It's
on that form.
Oh, John, she's gonna show you.
Up for you here. So the quotes are Cherry Valley Johnson Tractor was giving us $12,300 for that trade-in.
They usually give us the best.
Yeah, they were very generous.
Yeah, that does seem generous for
They-
more
they usually
riding
do.
on for 5, because they're, what are they new, 30?
Well, it'd be
Well,
21,
let me go
that'd be
back to that
20,
quote.
that'd be
10,000 and 10,000 and 12,300.
22,
It was-
yeah,
It was 27,599.
that's a good percentage back on a trade-in.
Oh, right there in your board
They've
packet.
usually been very
That I-
generous.
That I can't pull up on my.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill's absent, John.
Yes.
Nathan and Patrick are absent, Rick.
Yes. Motion passes 739. Painful. Anything further in parks?
Just so the board and the public knows, we did install a new little library on the west end of the main parking lot. Out front of the park here, that was donated to us by the Julie Hall Library, for everyone's use. And that has been stocked as of yesterday, so,
And that's at Community Park.
yes.
Cool.
Yeah, and we also did get the second stocking of fishing, so that, that's done stocking for the year.
And we still have a no fishing thing out
Yes.
there?
Yep.
Okay, cause I've seen people with fishing poles.
The sign, yeah.
In
sign
code?
posted,
I'm sure
so,
they're not draining it of fish.
We do our best to not let people fish out of it, but
I mean, how many are they really gonna get away with?
Basically open in the spring? No?
For fishing?
Yeah.
No,
probably not.
no, we probably ought to let these grow
Yeah.
for a while. I would suggest a good season. So,
I'm looking to reach out soon here to the IDNR and get their recommendation for treatment of the pond for algae and everything, and also ask them that question of how long they usually recommend with the new pond and new stocked fish. So hopefully I'll have a better answer soon. That's all I have.
All right. John?
Right, you have anything this evening?
we got our boom truck back, our new boom truck, bucket truck back. So we will start the process of upfitting that, getting that stickered and we've got to buy a bunch of lights, radio. We've got to buy some new boxes for it because it's different size than the other truck. So, but should fall well within the money that we have saved. That 200,000 that we budgeted for the truck. So that's about it.
That's it.
All right. Anything?
Thank you, Brett.
Anything?
No problem, John.
Anybody have anything for Patrick?
Hydrant flushing will be, I believe, the last week of this month.
That's next week.
Hydrant flushing will be next week.
Let me pull my calendar.
Had to think about
My
that.
calendar sentence.
So now that the filter project is kind of done, that's what we were waiting for. So,
When you see that rust color in your water,
Yes.
Do your laundry real quick.
so
And then jump on DJ Ransom.
you're gonna get called, but anybody who's watching, they'll probably get a rust.
Well, we got a sign we put up on the sign, right?
It is, yep, it's, if it's not already up there, it's scheduled to go up
Right, did
there.
you stand with a sign on the corner?
I believe it's
I use the
also,
flip. So yes,
Okay, there you
it's
go.
also
Where
on
is
the
that?
website, I believe, and on our Facebook, or will be before this week is out.
All right, perfect. Anything on economic development, other than what Matt already wrote? Unfinished business.
Oh, hold on, I'd actually like to say something on that. So, Brenda had the TIF meeting this past weekend, or this past week for our tax increment financing district. And one of the recommendations in there, from our attorney to talk about development over there was to potentially reach out to the developer that developed Dollar General to see what complementary businesses they have in their other areas. And maybe see if they have something or know somebody, or what do they normally surround themselves with that would be something to be willing to come here, and that was just their suggestion.
Dollar General, usually nothing.
Cause they don't want any
so-
competition.
Well, they do, so
They want something that draws people.
so when
closer.
when they originally came to the village, they actually told William at that point that they do have a list of complementary businesses that they do business with often that come near their, because it does draw the people to them as well. And so David's recommendation is somebody reach out to the developer to see if they still have that list of complementary businesses to
I'll
them.
do that. That'd be fun.
I was gonna say, cause I think some of their stuff has changed because they have built a Dollar General in almost every small community in
Well, they don't own
Wisconsin.
any of them. They just lease that space.
No, I'm just saying,
Oh.
like, they have like, I'm
Yeah,
not
they
kidding
are
you, like
popping up.
300 people sized towns, they're building them in.
Yeah.
Because those towns have nothing.
Yeah, no, they're,
That's
What
all
is
they
it?
have.
In the
Walgreens
words
did
of
that. now
Wally,
they have
see a
no-
need, fill a need. Is
What?
that Wally who says that?
Couldn't hurt to ask.
You could probably.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them. Give me that number.
I will,
That many years ago.
He's out of St. Louis. Isn't
All right, shoot that to me. I'll
he? I
give him a
might
call.
have his number.
Anything on unfinished business?
Let's see.
Nothing, public? Closed session.
Make a motion for closed session 2C1, the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in the park, recreation, or education setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing a testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity.
You can take a breath. John makes a motion to go into
You
closed
know, I
session
can't keep doing.
under section 2C1. Chris seconds.
Oh.
Yep.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill's absent, John,
Yes.
Nathan's absent, Patrick's absent, Chris, Rick.
Yes.
I
Just leave, Matt, thank you.
that one, I'll take it.
Either way, 7:45.
Make a motion to reconvene open session.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to reconvene open session. John seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. We are back in open session at 7:58. In attendance are Chris Samples, John Talbot, Sandy Moss, Rick Worm, Brenda Onyebany, Brett Fergie,
Brody go.
Brody Cook. Remember the Brody, I couldn't remember the cook. And Jen Christensen. We'll figure this out in the long run. Action on closed session items. We have a motion.
I like to make a motion to approve additional compensation for Brody Cook in the amount of $1 per hour as additional compensation. A total hourly salary of $20 effective November 1st, 2024. An additional compensation to be added at the next pay period to his then effective hourly wage of $1 per hour. Increase for acquisition of aquatics license, $1 per hour increase for acquisition of a turf license. $1 per hour increase for acquisition of an ornamental license. And $1 per hour increase for an acquisition of a CDL license upon proof of acquisition of license to human resources manager. I need a second.
Jen makes a motion to approve the employee compensation for Brody Cook. Chris seconds. Any discussion on that approval?
Yes, Brody, we know you've got one out there right now, Fergie thinks you can actually look it up online.
Yeah.
We discussed the
Yeah.
aquatics, that we think you've got that one, but we just gotta get the paperwork on it,
Yep.
so.
And do you think you'll have your CDL before the snow flies?
Yes.
Excellent.
We just gave him a bunch of motivation.
Where's Brody? He's driving.
Yeah. I suspect that'll all happen within the next 30 to 60 days.
Any further discussion? Money's roll call.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill's absent, John,
Yes.
Nathan's absent, Patrick's absent, Chris,
Yes.
Rick.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
Passes at 8 p.m. Anything further from the board members, staff?
And do
Appointed?
adjourn.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to adjourn. John seconds. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? I said aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Right, good night.
See you, Chris.
We're adjourned at 8 p.m.